What is happening?
In this video, we're going to talk about 4 poker controversies that you probably didn't know. Number 1. Something rather controversial was seen on day 3 of the PCA main event. Paulina Lolliger, aka Poker Bunny, was seen making some sort of a scene which could be called bad poker etiquette upon busting from the PCA main event. Upon tanking for a few minutes when facing a bet for her entire stack against Daniel Custodio, a clock was called. Paulina finally called with ace-3 only to find that her hand was no good as Custodio turned over the ace-4 for trips. Then in a moment of rage or tilt, Paulina reached across the table in an effort to muck her cards because she was too embarrassed that she made the call with a pair of 3s.
Trip forced the hand for D'Souza.
What is happening?
She's trying to muck.
According to poker tournament rules, in an all-in situation, both hands has to be shown. Seconds later, she quietly walked away from the table without incident.
Poker xanh 9, thử tiền thật, đăng ký WPT, nhận ngay 2 đến 25 đô.
While there are many poker dealers who push pots, enforce rules, and keep the action fair, it is ultimately the duty of each player to safeguard their own hand, which includes being able to read the board. Nobody learned this lesson more painfully than German player Pierre Kuert, who was competing for the top prize of 182,000 euros at the final table of the WSOP circuit main event at King's Casino in Rozhdov, Czech Republic. With just 5 players left in the 1,700 euro buy-in event, Pierre found himself against Lupo's dominant King-Jack suited while holding the Jack-10. The board ran Ace-Queen, 6-Jack-6, and both players made Jacks and 6s with an ace kicker to seemingly split the pot. Except the dealer did not see the chop and mistakenly believed that Pierre was outkicked. The rest of the table did not see the error either, and Pierre accepted the defeat with grace before wishing his fellow opponents luck and left. Incredibly, not even the commentators caught the mistake despite the graphics on the live stream. Had someone spoken up before the next hand was dealt, the situation would have been resolved and Pierre would have been given half the pot. But since play moved on before anybody realized what had happened, his elimination had to stand. It falls under the player and dealer responsibility, so nothing can be done, said Tournament Director Association co-founder and WPT Executive Tour Director Matt Savage on Twitter. The rule Matt Savage is referring to is TDA Rule Number 2, which states in part that players should speak up if they see a mistake. Additionally, Rule Number 12 says that any player in the hand or not should speak up if he or she thinks a mistake is made in reading hands or calculating and awarding the pot. Rule Number 22 also makes it clear that the interpretation of a tabled hand may be questioned until the next hand begins. King's Casino poker director Federico Brunato issued a statement saying that he wanted to raise awareness about a situation that happens more often than people may realize. While he acknowledged the mistake made in the hand which led to Pierre's elimination, he reminded the players to always read your poker hand when taking part in tournaments, as mistakes are inevitable. He defended the dealer named Sona, who he said is highly trained in her job and had been with King's Casino for the last 6 years. The poker director ended his statement by advising the poker community to refrain from criticizing other people's mistake, adding that players should know their rights and follow their game.
Không cần nạp tiền, cũng có thể chơi poker thắng tiền thật. Đăng ký WPT, nhận ngày 10 vé tour miễn phí 12 triệu, lúc 19 giờ hàng ngày.